then certain states have different types of LLCs. So you can form an LLC, I shouldn't say different types of LLCs, but different ways in which you can use an LLC is afforded in different states versus the other. So in some states you just register LLC, and if you have assets that you want to be held in an LLC, but you kind of don't want to keep a lot of assets in one company and you want to do it in several, some states allow what's called a Series LLC. And there's different guidelines on how to register a Series LLC and what that protection looks like. And the states that don't have it, then you will be actually forming and registering just separate LLCs. There is debate amongst a lot of professionals on which one makes sense to form a Series LLC, even if you have the capability of doing that, or just form separate LLCs that holds X amount of assets you want to kind of keep them in their pocket. Again, Series LLCs, when we speak about the LLC being very young and still in the process of garnering the body of law, the Series LLC is even more, trying to figure it out. That still is not even in every state yet. So that is a body of law that is filled with uncertainties. So that's something to think about when, deciding even if you have access to form a Series LLCs if you want to. And if it's something that fits, then it's great. Just know that each state may be different and with, who allows it. And it's also a fresh business structure that is still working itself out. And then to properly form it, a LLC, you have to think about, is this the parent company? Are you going to have subsidiaries? Do you, have an empire? You see yourself doing different things, but you don't want to do those different things under one company, but you do want that one company, kind of like the umbrella, to manage or be what is called the parent company of everything else. If you think about like Facebook, different type of companies that have in clothing, in accessories, different companies that have the big major company, and then all of these other small companies come from that major LLC. You want to properly structure that. You want to structure, if you know it's going to be the parent company, you structure that first. What's that's going to look like? What does the ownership look like? What does everything look like with that parent company? And then form the subsidiaries. You can work it backwards, but then there's a lot of paperwork on the back end to make sure you're legally connecting the parent company to the subsidiaries with a possible, buy-in and all those other things. I won't get into that, but you want to think about that up front with proper formation is if you're going to have multiple companies under one, how do you properly form that before it even happens? And then lastly, I just want to cover, and I'm going to break it down in part 4, is the operating agreement. So like I said, each state law is different on requirements. A lot of states, for the most part, say you don't have to have an operating agreement in order to register. Like with a corporation, you need your bylaws in place. You don't have to, in a lot of states, register LLC and submit the operating agreement that you have put together. A lot of times you don't even have to submit, detailed provisions in the articles of organization. You don't have to even submit that. A lot of states, that's just an option for you to do it. The bare minimum may be required in most states, which is just having an incorporator, having a registered agent, having the name of your company and the industry in which it will be providing its product or service, like the bare minimum. And so that's why there is a lot of people saying, I can register for you, or there's a lot of people saying, oh, registering an LLC is easy, I can do it, I don't need to pay for that. Well, that is the bare minimum. And that doesn't mean that you're properly formed, not when it comes to full protection for limited liability and maximizing the business structure. So we will get more into that in part 4.